YouTuber subscribers and friends, welcome to my channel. What is going on with these saguaro cactuses? If you look at it, what I'm talking about, it's leaning way that way, right? That one right there at the top is leaning a little bit. That one is leaning. Let me get a better view. Look, those are all leaning that way. And that's on the other side of the street there. All of them. They're all leaning that way. Now, let me look behind me. That's leaning that way. This one is curved that way. That one's completely curved that way. Now, I drive by these saguaros every day and I look at them because I love looking at the saguaros. That one's curved that way also. I just finished my walk and I was like, look at these saguaros, man. That one's leaning that way. Those ones way over there are all going to the left. Now that's facing south that way. Every one of these saguaros is moving that way. Now I'm going to show you another one right over here. This saguaro right here is facing this way. Let me walk over here so I can get a better view of it. And you're wondering what's making these saguaros do this. I know what's making them do it, and I'll show you in a minute. It's facing this way. Here's another one right here. It's trying to go that way. It's leaning that way. All those down there, they're all leaning. It's like they're trying to get away from something, but they don't have feet, so they can't walk. And what they're trying to get away from is this thing right here. See that? That thing is right next to these saguaros, and they're all leaning south. Every single one of these saguaros here on this property are all leaning that way. And across the street, they're all leaning that way too. Even those ones way over there are all, it's like they're trying to get away from that thing. Now you're probably thinking, well, I don't know, maybe that's not true. It is true, because I'm going to go to another place that's 5 miles from here that's having the same effect on the saguaro trees. There's a lot of dead trees and bushes around here too. You see this one, how it's just curving? Now I drive by these every day and I look at them, and I notice that they're leaning more and more every day. I was walking at the park with Jerry and I was noticing them, and they're looking like they're leaning even more every day. So I went home, I dropped off Jerry, and I came back. So let me go to this other place I'm talking about and show you that they're leaning over there also. Alright, so I'm here at the park that I walk at all the time with Jerry. I've been walking at this park ever since my kids were little. So I know the changes every time when I come here, when I see something different. Now they built this thing about 5 years ago. Wow, look at this saguaro. This saguaro looks more and more bent every time I come here. You see that? Before they built this thing here, this used to be so tall, standing straight up. And it's trying to get away from that thing right there. Not only that, this cholla cactus right here is leaning this way also. That saguaro there is leaning that way from that thing. There's a lot of dead trees at the base of that thing. That saguaro way over there, there's a big jet going, is leaning to the left. And this one here is leaning that way. The sad thing is, if this is doing this to these saguaros, imagine what it's doing to us. That's a school right there. They just added another building there. My kids used to go to that school, but when my kids were going to that school, it's a little elementary school, they didn't have this thing here. So imagine if this thing right here is doing this to these saguaro cactuses and trees and cholla cactuses, and they're trying to get away. Imagine what it's doing to our children's brains that are going to this school, because this thing is microwaving the plant life in this park right over here. So just imagine what it's doing to these kids that are here every single day. Alright, I'll show you some more. See, like this tree's dead here. That's a Palo Verde. I'll show you some more saguaros that are trying to get away from it over here. It's sad because these saguaros are so old, right? It's just a matter of time before that thing just snaps off and falls off. Alright, there's that thing right there. Here's this saguaro that's going away from it also. It's leaning away from it. You can see the discoloration on this side of the saguaro also. It's not only the saguaros. I'm going to show you some barrel cactuses over here that it's having the same effect also. And you got these two right here that are leaning this way. It's like they're just trying to get away from it. There's another one that going that way. They're all curving, leaning away from. This one's leaning. See, I've been coming to this park for so long that I noticed that. See how that one's just trying to get away. This barrel cactus is leaning that way. You know, that ocatilla is leaning that way. Most people that come here, they don't even pay attention to this stuff. That saguaro is leaning that way, is trying to get away from it. These barrel cactuses are all growing that way because they're like trying to get away from it. They're a lot lower on the ground also. And then you have this one that's completely leaning that way also. So it just makes you wonder, right? Makes you think. And you got this cactus saguaro here. All the saguaros are leaning that way. And they're not supposed to be leaning like this, because I walk out in the desert all the time, and I'm looking at these saguaros, and these are giants of the desert, and they're freaking tall, straight up and tall. But anytime you get this around those electronics, it's like they're screaming. They're screaming out, you know, get away, get it away from me. Now I'm going to go to another one that's 5 miles away, and I'm going to show you, is it a coincidence or is there something going on here? I ask you that. Is it coincidence or is there something going on here? So I'm at the other thing in here, and I'm standing right next to this dollar store that was built like a year ago. Look at these things. Even that one way over there is leaning to the right. Now, if it was just one of these things and the cactus, one or two were just leaning, I would say, well, maybe that's the way it grows. But look at even the little ones here are leaning that way. Even this one looks kind of like ripply. But that's not just it. It's not just those. It's, look at this. I remember when they built this thing just a little over a year ago, these things were straight, because I drive by these things every day. Look at it. It's going that way, away from that thingy over there. Is it coincidence? I don't think so. Look at this one. It's leaning that way also. Even those way over there, you can see they're leaning to the left. They're leaning away from this electronics thing. So you have to ask yourself, if it's affecting the saguaro cactuses and the trees and the bushes, what is it doing to us? And if we have satellites in space, why do we need to have so many of these things? Right? Why do we need so many of these things? Doesn't make any sense to me if we have satellites in space. Anyways, that's what I wanted to show. I'm not sponsored by Dollar General, but I just wanted to show that no matter where I go, where these electronic towers are, I've noticed that the wildlife and the vegetation, the trees and bushes and stuff like that, especially these saguaro cactuses, how sensitive they are. and they're curving away from these things that are microwaving us. Anyways, that's my video. If you like these kind of videos, smash the like, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. It don't cost anything. It's free. And thanks for taking the time to watch my videos. Remember to be kind to people, treat people the way you want to be treated. Get out, go!